action to reduce gun violence in America. His pledge comes just weeks after the school shooting at Sandy Hook in Connecticut that left 28 people dead, 20 of them children.
Well, British broadcaster Piers Morgan has found himself at the centre of the gun law debate, with a petition being launched to get him deported from America. Well, we'll hear exclusively from Piers in a moment, but first let's take a look at why some Americans want to get rid of him.
I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand?
A furious head-to-head clash, but when this took place earlier this week, it was the culmination of a row that still rages across America. Piers Morgan fueled the debate with calls for gun control after 26 people, including 20 children, were killed in a mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut last month. Just after the tragedy, the broadcaster turned on the gun lobby, calling for a ban.
I know why sales of these weapons have been soaring in the last few days. It's down to idiots like you. You are a dangerous man espousing dangerous nonsense.
Now, a petition to the White House is demanding Piers is deported. Signatures have topped 100,000. The British broadcaster has got the whole of America talking, but will he be forced out for his views? Well, Piers Morgan joins us now from New York. Piers, you've got a very thick skin, you know, you really have. But how are you dealing with all of this reaction in the USA?
Well, look, it's obviously a situation where I put my head over the parapet almost quite literally, but I feel very passionately about this. You know, we all remember what happened in Britain with Dunblane when 16 young children were blown to pieces by a maniac with guns, and Britain reacted by banning all handguns and banning all assault weapons. And what has staggered me in the time I've been at CNN in America, which is 2 years now, is that there have been a series of terrible massacres, from congresswomen being shot in the head and 6 others killed, to the worst ever single shooting at the movie theatre in Colorado, to the Sandy Hook massacre with 20 children of a similar age to Dunblane killed, and nothing ever gets done, nothing ever changes. And we're in a country in America where there are 300 million guns in circulation. And although I understand that the American Constitution empowers Americans to believe that they are entitled to have a handgun or a pistol to defend themselves at home, what it doesn't do is entitle deranged young people to get easy access to these killing machines. And that's what these assault rifles are. They are really military-style machine guns. And you can then go and buy a magazine with 100 bullets, load yourself up and commit carnage. And it's that specific thing that I'm trying to help get banned here. And it is a polarizing issue. It's controversial. It's making me popular and unpopular. But I believe it's the right thing to do.
Because there has been a campaign to have you deported. It's got that personal and that vitriolic.
Well, it's been unsuccessful because the breaking news is that President Obama has formally responded now to the petition on the official White House website, which called for me to be deported for attacking the Second Amendment. And it's a very interesting comment from his White House spokesman, Jay Carney, who says that they've concluded that it would be a breach of my First Amendment rights, which is, of course, the right to freedom of expression, particularly for the press, and that my commentary about the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, is covered under the First Amendment. So pretty significant statement and verdict, if you like. But the bottom line, and I know this will be very distressing to people in Britain, is that I'm going to be staying in America on the President's orders.
Now listen, this chap that launched the petition to have you deported, you invited him onto your TV show, and well, he was the best advertisement for gun control you could have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, he was bordering on insane. I mean, this is a guy, though, who's not insignificant. You know, he may come across to people in Britain as a kind of madman you can ignore, but over here, he very much represents a section of the American community, a very extreme section of the gun rights lobby. He has a show that airs on 160 radio networks around America. He has tens of millions of hits on the internet for his blogs and his YouTube stuff. So this guy has real influence to the more extreme elements who don't want any form of gun control. And you know, the most dispiriting thing for me is when you see these massacres, like at Sandy Hook School, is that you could have 20 children killed, and in the following 3 or 4 weeks in America, they had record sales of the same weapon that the shooter used to kill those children, and record sales of ammunition. The biggest ammunition company in America sold more bullets in 3 days than they normally have in stock for 3 years. And this is the reaction because the gun lobby say if everyone had been armed at the school or the movie theatre or the church or whatever it may be, then it wouldn't have happened. They would have killed the shooter. So everybody rushes out to buy more guns. And this whole logic of more guns, less crime is so deeply flawed and dangerous that it just has to change.
Well, it is terrible, as we've said, you know, that you have had a lot of vitriol. You've said yourself you put your head above the parapet. Do you feel threatened, though, Piers? I mean, you've got a family in America, you've got a young child, and do you feel worried for their safety and for your own?
Well, no more than I feel worried about safety. My 3 sons are in England at the moment, but I have a young daughter here who in 3 years or so, if I'm still working in America, may well go to an elementary school in the New York area like Sandy Hook. This was only half an hour away. And so, you know, I'm already concerned about her safety in a country that has such lax gun control. And the reason it has such lax gun control is that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, and other gun rights people, they breed on fear. And the reason they do that is because it guarantees more sales of ammunition and weapons. And you're living in a country now that is driven by these people into a sort of subconscious feeling if you're not armed, there's something wrong with you.
Well, good on you for standing up for what you believe in, but we should let you know that there's actually a petition over here in the UK as well to keep you in the US.
Was it you that started it?
We haven't signed it yet, honestly.
Lorraine Kelly, if you sign that petition, we are so through. I can't
I
begin to tell
wouldn't
you.
dream of it. Wouldn't dream of it. Piers, thank you
Yeah, thank you.
so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You know what? We took action, didn't we, after Dunblane, which was horrendous. There were 16 children and their teacher who were gunned down. And America really has to start looking at the gun laws because there's going to be another incident.
Of course.
Inevitably almost. And we're going to be reporting on it and we're going to go through the same old debates.
And you know, this is something that Piers really cares about.
Yeah, I think honestly, you were right good on him for actually doing it and talking about it. Right, coming up after 5:30 this morning, silent witness star Amelia Fox and